Welcome back to Hannity. So President George W. Bush, since leaving office, has begun painting as a pastime. And in his brand new book, Portraits of Courage, a Commander-in-Chief's tribute to America's warriors, well, the president includes dozens of oil paintings that he created of American heroes and their stories. Now, yesterday I traveled to Dallas, Texas, to talk to the 43rd President of the United States about this and more. Now, over the course of the week, we will be airing portions of this interview. Here's part one. Mr. President, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to be back with you.
Good to have you. I just now have gone through this part of your museum. I am stunned, shocked. I don't even know how to even describe it. You've only been painting 5 years, less than 5.
Yeah.
Tell us how you picked it up.
Well, I was a little antsy. I mean, when you're the president, your dance card is full.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're not the president. And so I spent, Laura and I spent a lot of time here at the Bush Center putting programs in place that'll make a difference in people's lives. I wrote 2 books. I'm staying fit. I'm mountain biking and elliptical. And, you know, I play a fair amount of golf. But it wasn't enough, and so I read Winston Churchill's essay, Painting as a Pastime, and my attitude basically was, that old boy can paint, I can paint.
You love animals, so you started painting
pets.
Pets. Jasper, you did Dana's pet.
I did,
yes.
And I did Bob the cat in our house. I was a pet portrait painter, which is kind of hard to say. But,
yeah.
So I painted pets, and the good thing about painting pets is they really don't react when they see their painting.
So, in other words, they can't say it's good or bad?
Yeah, but the owner can. But no, I did that, and then I started getting into landscapes. And my first instructor at SMU came and said, you know, you ought to paint the leaders with whom you served. And I did. And we had an exhibition here.
Putin?
You know, yeah, Putin and Blair and Dalai Lama and Angela Merkel. You know, they were okay paintings. But the most important part of it was that I'd gotten to know them so well. During the presidency, I felt comfortable painting them, and we had a personal diplomacy exhibit here, which I think is really important in life, and I know it's important for a president to get to know leaders from other countries. And I hired so I got 2 new instructors, and one of them's a young guy who paints really fine portraits. And he said, you know, you ought to paint people nobody knows. And it just dawned on me. They're like, boom, warriors who I'd gotten to know. And so I did. I painted all these warriors. I know every one of them. I know their stories. I had ridden mountain bikes with them. I played golf with them. And I admire them greatly. So in the course of a year, I think there's 60-some-odd warrior paintings here. Well, there's 60-something individuals, and on the montage, there's another 30-something. So it's about 98 warriors. In a year? Yeah. That's a lot of paint. So how long would it take you to paint one person? Because I also saw the pictures of them. And I know in the book you call yourself a novice. This is not the work of a novice. Well, really. I think it is, but thank you. It's that's flattering. You know, it just depends until you finish. And, you know, you really, that's one of the interesting questions for any artist is, when are you through? And I would go upstairs and be painting, you know, Milo, and look at Falkenberry's painting and said, I think I better paint on Falkenberry some more, and then go back to Milo. And so it was a process. And even when I look at them now, I kind of wish I had my paint and touch up a few things, but it never really ends. It never ends. You're never satisfied, perhaps. I've known you a lot of years. 9/11 happens 9 months into your presidency. You were a wartime president. We were on a war footing the entire time you were there. Right. And I look back at the last two major conflicts in America. I look at Vietnam. We lost 58,000 people. We didn't finish the job. We left. Mm-hmm. I look at Iraq and Afghanistan, and here, many of these people that you're drawing, they won Mosul, Ramadi, Tikrit, Fallujah, Baghdad, only to, like Vietnam, or similar in my mind to Vietnam, because I thought it was the right decision. Mm-hmm. I still believe it was. But it's not the right decision if Washington politicizes it, and then gives back that which they won. Mm-hmm. Does that frustrate you? Because that frustrates me. Yeah. You know, yes, it frustrated me. And I think what people have got to realize is this bunch of thugs can be defeated, because we did so with the surge. And by the way, the president's new national security advisor was a part of that philosophy of how to win the hearts and minds of
local populations, which is necessary for victory. And we can win again. Mm-hmm. And so you've heard both presidents, after my time, say we're going to degrade and defeat ISIS. And I say, go get them, because they can be degraded and defeated. And it's very important, in my mind, that we do so that people know they can rely upon us. And the people, not only governments, but people on the ground, people who want to be free. And you ask some of these troops, you know, were you able to see human deprivation and improvement? And they say yes. I mean, a lot of them say to me, I love the idea that girls being able to go to school for the first time in Afghanistan, or young kids in Iraq being no longer subjected to the thuggery of these ideological, thugs.
You warned that if we pulled out precipitously and too early, I played this on my shows many times.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you were 100% accurate.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
No.
Because, we're it in terms of defeating ISIS or Al-Qaeda or whatever you want to call them. I mean, these are people that murder the innocent to advance a point of view, and it requires U.S. leadership to defeat them. And this exhibit honors those who heard the call and volunteered, and were willing to be willing to risk their lives to not only defend ourselves but to advance liberty.
Two things about you that people might not know, which I think was the underpinnings of your passion for our military. Mm-hmm. You used to always, often, would sneak over to Bethesda, mm-hmm. sneak over to Walter Reed.
Right.
Never wanted any cameras, nor did you want anybody to know.
Correct.
You did that a lot.
I did.
And a second thing is, I was on the campaign trail with you in Jacksonville, Florida in 2004. And it was at a big stadium.
Yeah, I remember that.
Where the Jaguars play. You mm-hmm. flew Air Force One right over as you were flying in.
A little bit of a show-off.
A little, yeah. But when you got there, you got out of your car, you went in a private room. Todd Beamer's father was in there. Mm-hmm. Other Gold Star families were in there. Mm-hmm. And I remember, because I saw it, I don't know if anyone else saw it, you came out of the room, and it was obvious you had been crying.
Yeah.
It happened a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of a crier, and when a mom hugs me and talks about her son, it it affected me.
Yeah.
On the other hand, and this is hard for many people to understand, but when you go to Walter Reed and a soldier looks at you who's lost his leg and says, "I'd do it again," or you ride mountain bikes with these troops that some of whom lost a leg who went back into combat. Or a mother whose son lost their life and said, "I just want you to know my son died doing what he wanted to do." It lifts your spirit.
It's amazing people.
It is amazing. Yeah.
Amazing people.
And hopefully my art is able to capture how amazing these people are.